Hi front-end developers. Welcome to WebGlow. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create an animated shopping cart from scratch. This is a complete beginner-friendly project, so if you're just starting with JavaScript, this tutorial is perfect for you. Let me show you the functionality. When you click the cart icon, the shopping cart opens smoothly to the left. You can add items, increase or decrease the quantity, and delete items. Notice that as you keep adding items, the total amount is calculated automatically and the quantity updates in real time. Isn't that amazing? Now, you might be wondering, are we going to use a third-party library? The answer is no. We'll use only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All you need is a basic understanding of these programming languages and a computer to follow along. If you have the prerequisites, let's dive right in. Go ahead and open up your favorite code editor. We'll be creating 3 files: index.html, style.css, and app.js. If you need the source code, I've got you covered. You can find a direct link to my GitHub repository in the description below, where you can download everything. Alright, let's jump in and start with the index.html. We'll kick things off with a simple HTML template to get the ball rolling. First, let's create a div with the class container. Inside this container, we'll add a header with the title, Your Shopping Cart. Then, open your HTML project in your default browser using Live Server or any other tool you prefer. After that, return to your index.html file. Right below the title, we'll place the shopping cart icon, which will display the number of items in the cart. Initially, this will be set to 0. Next, we'll create another div with the class list. This section will display the products available for the user to browse and add to the cart. Now, let's work on the cart itself. When the user clicks the shopping cart icon, a new section will display the cart. This section will include the title cart, followed by a list called list cart, where all the items added to the cart will appear. Below the list, we'll have a checkout section displaying the total price, which starts at 0, and a close button that will close the cart. Finally, we'll add a script tag at the bottom of the HTML file to link to app.js. This is where all the magic happens, adding items to the cart, updating quantities, and calculating the total price. Now let's style the shopping cart. First, we style the body to define the overall look of the page. Let's give it a white background color to keep things clean and a system default font for readability. Next, let's style the container. We'll give it a width of 700 pixels so it doesn't stretch too much, center it using auto margins, and add a smooth transition effect to enhance animations. For the header, we'll use a grid layout to arrange the title and shopping cart icon side by side. The title will take up most of the space, and the cart icon will have a fixed width of 50 pixels. We'll also add some spacing at the top to position it nicely. Now let's style the shopping cart icon. We'll give it the relative position so we can place the item counter on top of it. The icon itself will have a width of 40 pixels. I forgot to link the CSS file in the HTML. Let's go ahead and fix that. We'll add a linked tag to connect our HTML file with the styles.css file. After linking, we can jump back to the styles.css file and continue styling. And the counter will be styled as a small red circle with white text inside. Next, we move on to the list of products. We'll use a grid layout to organize the products into 3 equal columns. For the cart section, we'll style it as a fixed panel on the side of the screen. We'll set its width to 400 pixels and give it a dark background color. It starts hidden on the right, and when active, it slides into view smoothly thanks to a transition effect. Inside the cart, we'll style the title to have white text, and the list of items will be displayed in rows. Each row will include a product image, name, price, and quantity controls. Finally, for the checkout section, we'll use a grid layout to divide it into 2 buttons. One button will show the total price, and the other will be used to close the cart. Each button will have its own color scheme to make them visually distinct and clickable. Now let's break down the CSS for the active class. First, the active card rule makes the cart slide into view. It uses left, calc, 100% 400 pixel. The calc function calculates the position by taking the full width of the screen, 100%, and subtracting 400 pixel, which is the width of the cart. This positions the cart exactly 400 pixel from the right edge of the screen when the active class is added. Without this rule, the cart stays hidden off-screen. Next, the active container rule shifts the main content to the left with transform, translate x open parenthesis minus 200 pixel close parenthesis. The translate x function moves elements horizontally, and the negative value minus 200 pixels shifts the content left. This adjustment makes space for the cart to appear and keeps the layout neat. Together, these styles create a smooth animation where the cart slides in from the right and the content shifts slightly to the left, maintaining a clean and organized look. Now let's add some JavaScript to make the shopping cart interactive. First, let's grab the elements we need to work with. We start by selecting the shopping cart icon using the class shopping. Then, we'll select the close button using the class close shopping. Next, we need to select the container for the list of products, which is the element with the class list, and the element for the items added to the cart, which has the class list card. Finally, let's grab the body, total price, and quantity elements, which will be updated dynamically. Next, let's add event listeners to the shopping cart icon and the close button. When the shopping cart icon is clicked, we'll add the class active to the body. This will trigger the CSS rule that slides the cart into view. When the close button is clicked, we'll remove that active class, hiding the cart again. In short, this JavaScript code listens for clicks on the shopping cart and close buttons, and based on those clicks, it adds or removes the active class to show or hide the cart. Let's set up the product list and make it interactive so users can add items to their cart. First, let's create an array called products to store details about the items in the shop. Each product will have an ID, name, image, and price. This array will hold all the products the user can choose from. Next, let's create an empty array called list cards. This will hold the items that the user adds to the cart. Now, let's write the function startCard. This function will loop through each product in the products array. For each product, we'll create a new div element to represent the item on the page, and we'll give this div the class item for styling. Inside the div, we'll display the product's image, name, and price. We'll also add a button labeled Add to Cart. This button will be linked to the Add to Cart function, and when the button is clicked, it will pass the product's index from the products array to the Add to Cart function. This will allow the user to add the item to their cart. This code will set up the products on the page and allow users to interact with them by adding items to their cart. Let's now style the items in our product list to make them look better and more appealing. First, let's style the images inside the .item class. We'll set the width of the images to 200 pixels and the height to 180 pixels, giving them a fixed size. We'll also round the corners of the images by setting the border radius to 30%. Now, let's move on to the item class itself. We'll center the text and give the item a background color of light gray. To add some depth, we'll add padding of 20 pixels and a box shadow with a 50 pixel horizontal and vertical blur of gray. This will give the items a nice floating effect. Additionally, we'll add some letter spacing for better readability. Next, let's style the title class. We'll make the title stand out by setting the font weight to 600. For the price class, let's add some space around it by setting the margin to 10 pixels. This will ensure the price isn't cramped against other elements. Finally, let's style the button inside the item. We'll set its background color to dark Slata gray, with white text to create contrast. We'll give it padding of 10 pixels and make it take up the full width of the container. To make it interactive, we'll add a pointer cursor when hovered over, so users know it's clickable. This CSS will make the products look cleaner and more user-friendly. Let's walk through the Add to Card and Update Card functions in a way that makes it easy to follow as we build this functionality together. First, let's create the Add to Card function. This function ensures that a product is added to the shopping cart only if it's not already there. We'll use the list cards array to track products in the cart. If the product at a specific key in the list cards array is null, that means it's not in the cart yet. In that case, we'll add the product from the products array to the list cards array and set its quantity to 1. This step makes sure the product is added correctly the first time. Next, let's create the update card function. This function will handle refreshing the cart's display, recalculating totals, and dynamically showing changes when items are added or updated. First, we clear the cart's current contents by setting the inner HTML of the list card element to an empty string. This ensures that old data doesn't get mixed with new updates. Then, we initialize two variables, count and total price, to track the total number of items in the cart and the overall cost. Now, let's loop through the list cards array using the forEach method. We calculate the total price for that product by multiplying its quantity by its price and add it to the total price variable. At the same time, we add the product's quantity to the count variable. After that, we create a new list item using the createElement method and format it to include the product's image, name, price, and buttons for adjusting the quantity. Let's also add functionality for these buttons. The minus button decreases the product's quantity by 1, while the plus button increases it by 1. Each button calls the change quantity function with the updated value. This allows users to interact with the cart and update item quantities dynamically. Finally, we'll update the quantity element to reflect the total number of items in the cart. Then we'll call the update card function within the add to cart function. This ensures that every time the add to cart button is clicked, the specific item is added to the cart and the cart's content is updated dynamically. I noticed there's a small error in the HTML button element where the add to cart function is called. It's missing a double quote at the beginning of the function name. Let's fix that to ensure it works as expected. Now, when you click the add to cart button, the quantity updates properly. Next, let's also ensure the total price and item count on the page are updated. The text content of the total element will be set to the formatted total price using toLocalString, which adds commas for better readability. Similarly, the quantity element will display the total number of items in the cart. These two functions work seamlessly together to create a smooth and interactive shopping cart experience for users. Now let's style the items added to the cart to make them visually appealing and well organized. First, let's style the images inside the cart items using list card limg. We'll set the width to 90 pixels and the height to 80 pixels, ensuring the images are uniformly sized. To make them look polished, we'll round the corners by setting the border radius to 20 pixels. Next, let's work on the overall structure of the cart items with list card li. We'll use display grid to create a grid layout. The grid template columns property is set to 100 pixels repeat 1 fr. This means the first column will have a fixed width of 100 pixels, and the next 3 columns will share the remaining space equally. We'll also set the text color to white using color white, add a row gap of 10 pixels for spacing, and create some separation between items by setting the margin bottom to 20 pixels. Now let's style the individual divs inside each cart item with list card li div. We'll use display flex to align the content properly. The justify content center property will center items horizontally, and align items center will center them vertically. Next, let's move on to the buttons using list card button. We'll set the width to auto, so the buttons adapt to their content size. For styling, the background color will be set to white, and the border will be removed using border none. Finally, let's style the quantity display using list card count. We'll add a margin of 0-10 pixels, creating some space between the buttons and the quantity count. This styling ensures the cart items are clean, visually consistent, and easy to interact with for a great user experience. I realized I forgot to properly close the increase quantity button and the decrease quantity button in the HTML template. Don't worry, mistakes like this happen to me a lot. Let's go ahead and fix that now. We'll make sure to correctly close both the increase and decrease quantity buttons to avoid any issues. Let's dive into the change quantity function and understand how it works. First, let's create a function that manages the quantity of items in the cart. The change quantity function takes two parameters, the key of the item in the cart and the new quantity. Now, let's check if the new quantity is 0. If it is, we'll remove the item from the cart using the delete keyword. This effectively removes that item from the list cards array. If the quantity is not 0, we'll update the item's quantity in the list cards array to the new value. Afterward, let's make sure the shopping cart reflects the change. We'll do this by calling the update cart function, which will refresh the cart's UI with the new item quantities. So, to summarize, this function either updates the quantity of an item or removes it entirely and ensures the UI is always up to date. Well, front-end developers, we're done here. In the next video, I'll show you how to build a complete animated e-commerce website with a dynamic design from scratch. So make sure you subscribe and activate the bell notifications so you don't miss it.